there's anyone listening, that's great. If not, you're probably busy watching Miles Taylor or Don Lemon or one of the other fantastic creators that's on live right at this moment, and you can't be everywhere, and that's fine. This is really because I needed to share my thoughts and just try and get some perspective, get things right-sized, and bring the temperature down a little bit. Now, I saw with horror and shock and fear and anxiety when the news alert popped up on my phone saying that there had been an attack on a synagogue in Michigan. And as the rolling news rolls, I'm hearing more and more, and there's active shooter, exchange of gunfire, the building has been set ablaze, the vehicle rammed the synagogue, driver's dead, terrorist attack. ABC News, little shout out there, were going off on a tangent telling us all what they would have to do if explosives were discovered in the vehicle. They were actually describing how it would be better if they could retrieve the explosives so they can look. But we don't know that there's any explosives in the vehicle. Okay? We don't even know if the driver of the vehicle had a firearm. All we know for certain is the security guards at the mosque had firearms, and they shot their firearms, and the driver of the vehicle is dead. What else don't we know? We don't know what was going on for this person. We don't know that this person wasn't experiencing a medical incident, and I've looked at the aerial view of the area around the synagogue, and at first I thought, oh my gosh, that clearly that's an attack. What else could it be? When I heard that the security guards had observed the driver bypassing the barricades, or language similar to that. When you look, it's like slightly raised pavement, a sidewalk, areas of concrete with big gaps through them. Imagine, and I'm not doing both sidesism here, I'm doing, let's keep everything in proportion, please. Imagine there's an elderly man driving his car, starts to feel pains in his chest, he's starting to panic, he sees a synagogue just ahead of him, he knows there'll be people there, there's a little school attached, they've probably got first aid facilities. He tries to get the vehicle over, but it's really difficult because the pain's all shooting down one side, down his left side, and he's just trying to steer with the one arm, and he manages to weave through a couple of the sections, and then he loses control and he slams into the front of the synagogue. And at the same time, the synagogue security guards, hey Muna, haven't seen you in ages, it's lovely to see you. I'm just sharing my thoughts. Everything is okay, thank you. And I'm sharing my thoughts about the hysteria being created by the media, because I am a little bit sick and tired of the mainstream media criticizing citizen journalists and social media commentators sharing information, opinions, what have you. We know if we're looking on social media, if we're getting our information from citizen journalists or commentary channels, we know that their facts may not be accurate because it's social media or it's a commentary channel. Even citizen journalists were like, okay, you may be on the ground, but you may not have all the facts. You don't have a great big newsroom behind you fact checking. When you are an actual newsroom, ABC, I'm looking at you, just on this one occasion, the rest of you are equally as guilty. We expect you to be reporting facts. So when what we know is a man in a vehicle collided with a synagogue and they were shot by the security guards and are now dead, and there is a fire in the synagogue. That is what we know. We do not know that this man was a terrorist. We do not know that he was even an anti-Semite. We do not know whether he had any religion whatsoever, because it's not the law. We do not know whether he had a firearm himself. We do not know whether he deliberately drove his car at the synagogue or was having a medical incident. Unfortunately, because of the hysteria created by the media and the absolute chaos created by Mr. Trump, this kind of incident could be a terrorist attack. This could be someone avenging the dozens and dozens of dead little schoolgirls in Iran, innocent little schoolgirls who are minding their own business. It could be. It could be a revenge attack, trying to hurt more innocent people who have got nothing to do with all this nonsense. This nonsense created by 3 white men: Benjamin Netanyahu, Donald J. Trump, and Vladimir Putin. These 3 white men are trying to drag us all into chaos and turn us against each other and make us terrified. We do not know if this person launched a terrorist attack on a synagogue. We know a man was in a car. The car was swerving around, collided with the synagogue, crashed. The security guards shot the man. The man is dead. There is a fire somewhere in the building in the same general location, which was probably caused by the impact of the vehicle. We don't know if the guy was a terrorist. We don't know if the guy even knew it was a synagogue. We don't know if the guy was armed. We don't know if the guy had any agenda whatsoever other than, oh my God, I'm having a heart attack. I need to get help urgently. Now, it is very possible, as I say, because of the chaos going on in the world right now, the unnecessary chaos, the completely pointless loss of life, it is entirely possible that there will be repercussions, that there will be revenge attacks, that even this attack could be a targeted attack against the Jewish community. But we don't fucking know right now. So calm down, mainstream media. You're supposed to report facts. We do the hysteria. We do the taking a couple of little bits of information, spreading them around, and through the game of telephones, by the time it reaches the end of the street, we're all at war, which, pretty much we are. Report what we know. Don't be going off telling me how it's better for them to disarm the bomb and be able to retrieve the bomb so that they can look for clues. What bomb? This is a hypothetical bomb that you've said might be in the car, so they have to approach the car carefully. And now you're telling me about how they need to defuse the bomb. There isn't a fucking bomb yet. There might be. We don't know. We don't even know if this was an attack or a horrible accident. And I pray that this was an attack. I pray this was a crazed individual on a suicide mission, and they got what they wanted, and they're dead. And that no innocent people were harmed. Because if this was a regular human being with no ulterior motive having a medical incident, he's just been shot dead because the security guards at the synagogue were terrified because they know revenge is coming because their president attacked Iran. Benjamin Netanyahu and his cronies have made Jews all over the world less safe. No, it shouldn't be like that. It absolutely shouldn't. There is no place for revenge. We should all be linking arms together and saying, hell no. We do not approve of innocent people being injured, harmed, or killed, or even terrified. It's not acceptable. We don't support it. We don't support the strikes in Iran. We don't support the strikes in Lebanon. We don't support the strikes by Iran in the whole of the wider Gulf area. We don't support the killing of innocent people. This is not an ends justifies the means type situation. There is no justification. Iran had no nuclear weapons. They were not on the verge of launching an attack. Benjamin Netanyahu has been saying that Iran were on the verge of an attack on the whole region for 30 years. They're not rushing, are they? Or maybe he has an ulterior motive. Maybe he's a war criminal who's terrified of going to jail, and he's making his region and his people, Israelis, Jewish community all around the world, less safe, plus all the other communities that end up being involved as collateral damage. Because one man is an evil criminal and wants to avoid ever having to take any responsibility for that. And isn't it funny? I could have been talking about Benjamin Netanyahu there. I could have been talking about Donald Trump. I could have been talking about Vladimir Putin. My lovely American friends, did you ever think that your president would be spoken about in the same vein as the evil dictator over in charge of Russia? That's how we see you. We see you, American people, as being under the dictatorial control of a megalomaniac, a malignant narcissist who's gradually losing all senses that he may have once had, all rationality and powers of decision making. I'm scared for you. I'm scared for affected communities all over the world, and I'm scared for all of us. Because these targeted attacks don't particularly care who dies, and the retaliation, which will come, unless we're very, very lucky, that won't care who's targeted either. That could be me, that could be you, that could be our loved ones. We don't know, because 3 arseholes want to stop themselves from having to go to jail. And it's not okay. And I just had to come on and make sure I said that. Even if nobody hears me, it's enough. We don't know what's going on in Michigan, except for a man was driving a car. It crashed against the synagogue. The synagogue security shot the man. The man is dead. That's it. Oh, and there's a fire in the same area where the collision occurred. We don't know anything else. So until we do, why don't you all go and watch, what's his face? Bowling for Columbine. Guns are a problem, yeah, but they're not the main problem. Go and watch Bowling for Columbine. Go and watch Don't Look Up. Come back. And we can talk about what we all think is the problem here. Anyway, thank you, Muna, for joining me. Thank you, anyone who's watching this, for listening. I just want us to take the temperature down. This may have been a targeted attack by a terrorist in revenge for what's happening in Iran. But we've got absolutely no facts to to suggest that is what happened. We know a man drove a car, it crashed into a synagogue, the man was shot dead by the synagogue security, and it caused a fire. That's all. So until we know more, why don't we just stick with what we do know and just thank God nobody was harmed and pray for the man who lost his life? Because even if he was a terrorist, something's happened, hasn't it? Something's got him to that point. He's left a family behind. Let's stop being so judgy McJudgerson and start loving each other a little bit. And that's it. That's all I got to say. Thank you so much for being there, Muna. And thank you to anyone who's listening. Take care. And I will see you for the Mamas meeting at 7 p.m. ET, I believe. See you later, guys.